On February 18, the two-day-old AIADMK government led by Chief Minister Edapadi K. Palaniswami subjected to a confidence vote or a floor test in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. However, the opposition members of the DMK demanded a secret ballot instead. When their demands weren't met, they resorted to protesting in the house, leading to violence and eventually their eviction from the assembly. But why was a secret ballot so important to them?
The problem of having a secret ballot is that the identity of the MLAs casting each vote for either side is unknown. The reason behind this stands in all the political drama that we saw for the past few weeks. Now, the DMK sought a secret vote in a final attempt to give these MLAs particularly, who potentially could cross vote, the opportunity to do so. There is the anti-defection law which is in force in this procedure, which basically dictates that every MLA, depending on which party they belong to, have to vote in line with the party whip. Now, the party whip will give an instruction before the procedure as to what direction the vote of each MLA has to be, and they have to follow that. If any MLA fails under this anti-defection law to abide by the whip's instructions or guidance, they will be disqualified from membership of the assembly. So the reason that the secret ballot was not valid is, again, as cited by Speaker Dhanapal, is under Rule 99 specifically of the Tamil Nadu Assembly. The only procedure that can be used is either a voice vote or a division vote. So what was needed is, firstly, not a secret ballot, a ballot in which you knew the identity of every MLA who was voting and which side they voted. Secondly, it had to be specifically defined. It could not be by a voice vote, which would either be the ayes have it or the nays have it. That would not work either. And so the only remaining outcome was the division vote, which requires the specific identification of every MLA on paper, and as well as the party or the direction of the vote that they cast.
After DMK members were removed from the assembly, their allies, the IUML and the Congress, staged a walkout. During the floor test, 122 members of the AIADMK voted in favor of Mr. Palaniswami, and 11 dissidents, led by former Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam, voted against the motion. One person abstained from voting. Having won the floor test in the assembly, the AIADMK, which has a wafer-thin majority of 5 votes in a house of 233, since one seat is vacant, is in a dilemma over initiating action against 12 rebel MLAs who defied the party's whip during the voting.
So the whip, Mr. Rajendran of the Palaniswami faction, had instructed that all members of that group should vote in line with the confidence in this particular government. Now, the reason they are in an awkward position is because on the one hand, they have enough legal and constitutional ammunition to go after this group because they are in fact, or in theory at least, in violation of the anti-defection law, which requires them not to violate the instructions of the whip. However, the quandary for the Palaniswami faction is that if they do complain or file a memorandum with Speaker Dhanapal, the Speaker of the Assembly, that these 12 MLAs in fact violated the whip, they are in effect formalizing the process through which these 12 MLAs are quite likely to get disqualified from their membership of the House. What this means, however, is that in the 12 constituencies that these MLAs hail from, there is likely then to be a need to hold by-elections, and then the Palaniswami faction will have to face up to the public opinion within those 12 constituencies, and they run a serious risk of losing those 12 elections. Only because at this point in time, public opinion has been against them, stemming obviously from the fact that the Sasikala leadership of their group has been attracting negative sentiment, and of course you saw the disproportionate assets case verdict going against her, and you saw her being arrested and sent to Bangalore.